Hey folks, how's everyone doing? Welcome to the stream. This is Diagnose Your Chess, episode 6. This is a show where every week I work with a new player. We look at some of their recent games, talk about their chess, and try to come up with some kind of training plan for the future to try to get better. So today I'm with Dino, who is rated 1958 FIDE, and Dino, first of all, thanks for joining me. You were really excited to join the show, so I was happy to have you. Why don't you tell folks a little bit about yourself, like where you're from, how long have you been playing chess, and maybe what are you hoping to accomplish?
So basically, I'm from Montenegro. You can research it. Let me not go too deep into about that country. About my chess, I started. I guess I learned chess when I was 6. I was really fascinated by that game. Like everybody in my family plays it, and they have been playing it a lot. When I was younger, and I used to watch them all the time, and I was really fascinated by the game. But I haven't been playing a lot up until I was like 14 or 15. I'm not sure why. I was playing, I don't know, maybe sometimes, but it wasn't something that, I mean, I was occupied probably just by other things. So I didn't get the chance to that burning desire that I now have for chess that didn't have a chance to be, expressed, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So I started when I was, I'm not sure, 14, 15, and I started to play a lot to study. I was searching a lot on the internet if I can find some really good resources, books, or anything to become better. I was playing in a, I guess you can say, some kind of a cafe or something. Always when I go back from school, I play with some old people, and I was really motivated to beat them. And I guess after maybe a year and two, probably 2 years, I finally got to their level, and that was really cool. But I wanted to expand. Of course, I want to play much better, to be the best in my area. But short story or long story short, in the college I stopped because of a lot of studying. I'm on electric engineering university, so that kind of sucked. So that I had to stop, and kind of that progress and that everything that what I put into kind of stopped. But 2 years ago I started again. I don't plan to stop anytime soon, because like I think it's if you don't do something that you really like, I think it's gonna burn you. It's gonna burn your soul. So you should do it, even though if you have family, if you have, I don't know, a lot of work to do. Devote 30 minutes or 5 minutes of a day to do that thing that you love, because it's gonna give you energy to do other things, and it's gonna give you happiness. Like,
Yeah,
why would you live? Yeah, go ahead.
No, I totally get what you're saying. You like, for a lot of players that end up improving their chess, it does feel for them like it's just a very important passion. Like it's something they just really want to do every single day, regardless of rating gain. They just enjoy the game itself, and playing and studying and learning more. So I think that motivation is really important. So tell me a little bit about how what was the last time you played over the board, and what was that like?
Well, last time it was actually I think last year, because of the corona. I think it has been just maybe 1 or 2 tournaments in this year in my country because of the situation. So I wanted to play. I had, because I worked my chess a lot. I wanted to play. I wanted to show what I learned, or practice practice uh, over the board. But I didn't get a chance. I played online a lot. So I mean, probably you're asking because you're thinking if my rating is like my actual strength, but I think maybe it's even a little bit higher. I mean, I'm now maybe a little bit stronger even, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure 100%.
Yeah, actually, I am wondering a little bit, like back when tournaments were kind of a normal thing, like before the pandemic. Like, were you playing tournaments regularly, and like what types of tournaments? I guess I'm interested in as well. Like big open tournaments or like local events or.
Yeah, before mostly I've been playing for my club. It was just once a year. In the league, you have, I don't know, maybe to play against maybe about 10 clubs, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I would, yeah, maybe it's about 10 games, and in some tournaments also, but there's really few of them in my country, so kind of restricted in that way. But probably in the future, I'm looking forward to playing maybe in countries that are near my country, Serbia, maybe Bosnia, Croatia. So yeah.
And do you ever get a chance to play in person, in like a casual fashion, like at a club where it's not, um, like not like a tournament?
Yeah, yeah, I got a chance to play with some of my friends. I mean, near my strength, but yeah, I'm better probably.
Okay,
Much better. I mean, not much better.
I gotcha.
Sometimes I play with some players casual, with some FIDE masters, but it's not regular. From
Mm-hmm.
time to time.
I see. Yeah, I mean, right, like not having access to be able to play a lot of games means you could definitely be like really underrated, because that happens if you just don't have like a chance to play. So I don't know. I try not to just pay attention to the ratings too much, because I think like it'll figure itself out. It'll stabilize, and it'll be whatever it needs to be. And ultimately, your goal is to, I assume, get much higher. So it doesn't matter whether your rating is
Yes.
like 10 or 20 points one way or the other. Um, so um, well, let's talk about your chess during the pandemic. Like, what have you been up to, throughout the past year or so?
Before that, can I do I have an option of seeing you, because it's kind of silly looking at myself all the
Oh,
time.
yeah, you can go to the twitch.tv/chess24. You'll see the video there. It'll be a little bit behind, but I totally get what you mean.
Can I can I look at it through chess.com, and then I do their streamers or something? We don't.
No, it won't be on chess.com. It'll be on chess24's Twitch.
Chess 24 dot.
So it'll be twitch.tv/chess24.
Send me a link, because I'm not sure if I'm
Oh
gonna
yeah,
be able
I just
to.
posted in
Any
our
quickly.
Discord chat.
Okay. if this is going to interfere with the connection, probably I'm going to turn it off. So
Yeah, we'll see. I feel like we're right on the edge.
okay, that looks better.
Okay, cool. So right, you were gonna tell me what have you been up to chess-wise during the pandemic?
Okay, so during the pandemic, I started actually trying to find some quality books, because before I wasn't really reading good books. I don't know, maybe solving tactics and trying to pick up advice from YouTube, some YouTube channels, maybe chess.com, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I started with logical chess, and the Silman Endgame Manual, some, I guess, probably uh, books for beginners. Actually, I want us to start from the start, not go from some advanced. I fear that maybe I'm gonna miss some basics, and I work with some of those books, understanding chess move by move. Also,
Cool.
mostly I wanted to work on my end game, also to work through some really good annotated games.
So I
Also,
heard the Chernov book, Logical Chess Move by Move, Silman's Endgame book, which I like a lot, and the John Nunn book, right? Understanding Chess Move by Move.
yes,
Cool. Yeah, I like all those books. So I think you got yourself a nice like foundation there. So I think that was a good approach.
yeah, thanks.
Um, and what have you been working on lately? Like, what are you reading anything right now?
So after that, I worked with top grandmaster in my country.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Probably don't know him. Maybe you do. It's Nikola Jukic,
Jukic, I was about
and
to say
he's,
it. I promise.
yeah, you know it. Oh, okay.
No, I have seen him
So
in tournaments, so I do know him. Yeah.
yeah, okay. Okay, I'm glad he's famous. Anyway. So yeah, basically, not I wasn't working with him one on one, but there's a group of students, and he's, I don't know, teaching some games, standard stuff, games, tactics, strategical ideas, and games, and all that good
Mm-hmm.
stuff. So it was helpful, because I saw what to work on, how to work on chess. I got to ask him questions, and that was pretty good. I intend to uh, go go to his classes again in March, so that's gonna be cool. And
Those were like once
recently,
a week classes.
it was actually 3 times a week.
Oh wow.
So actually, it was 2 times for younger players and 1 time for older. But I was going to all three of them.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's awesome. That's really good. Like, I think having any kind of group environment is really useful because you like kind of get energy from the group, and you can certainly learn a lot from the coach. And the consistency is really cool. Like the 3 times a week. I think that's what it's all about. Yeah. Anything else you've been working on?
And, yeah, and to continue, I've been doing on Chessable a lot of things. Also, I've been doing. I, I figured I should start to do uh, some books for advanced players, for players that want to be title players, for players above 2000. So I picked chess structures.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Actually, before that, how it is called? Let me just check. Yeah, Grandmaster Preparation, Positional Play.
Mm.
And I'm mainly doing that. I want to finish it. That is my main focus. Also improve your chess tactics. It's really, as you know, of course, it's important to do tactics every day. And also end game from chess.com courses. I want to finish them all, and maybe watch more videos on endgame and chess.com, or I'm gonna purchase a Dvoretsky endgame manual. I'm not sure, but
Okay, cool. Well, that's a ton of stuff. I'd be happy to give you some recommendations by the end of this. But it sounds like you're doing like a ton. I mean, how much time do you think you're spending on your chess every day? Did you say that you're doing like the Chessable tactics course? Like, are you doing that like every day or most days?
yeah, every day, and also chess structures, just to mention it.
Mm-mm. Yeah, that's another good book by Flores.
And for
So.
openings,
Mhm.
also I'm using uh, from Roman Gingihashvili, there is two books really famous for repertoire for white and black, and I get if I get the variation wrong or plan wrong, I see it in the book, and then put it in a chessbook so I remember it.
Oh, I see.
So I
Mhm.
wanted to work on all areas of chess a little bit at a time. Maybe I should focus on one intensely, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's always hard to judge. I mean, there are some things that are kind of universally important, like tactics and calculation. I think is something you can work on any day, any time of the year. Like it doesn't matter what else you're doing. Like you can always stand to improve your calculation. Then when it comes to other things, I'm a little bit like more I don't know conservative. Like when it comes to openings, for example, I think one should only work on their openings if they're a problem. Like if you're often just getting bad positions in the opening and like falling into traps or like people are just outplaying you, then you know you're just getting outplayed in the opening. You really have to work on that. But if you're getting normal positions out of the opening and then you're not winning games for some other reason, then you know probably you have to work on either your middle game skills, your end game, or probably you know both, and your calculation on top of that. So the opening, I'm like a little bit more um, skeptical on. Like it's not always necessary, just based on your current level. Um, and then I think the other stuff you're learning is totally legit and great things. I mean, you mentioned the book on pawn structures, which I think has some really good material. I mean, getting better at chess is basically about improving your chess skill, like your calculation and your decision making, as well as improving your chess understanding, which is like knowledge, like knowing things about certain positions. In this type of position, this is the right plan, or this is the right idea. Or in this kind of end game, we're supposed to exchange these pieces and then play for this plan. This is like knowledge. Like you can kind of figure it out over the board, but it's much easier if you've just already seen these kinds of positions and developed a lot of experience in certain structures, so you know exactly like how to play them. And so you do kind of want to work on those two things almost simultaneously, um, as you're trying to improve your chess. What happens to a lot of players is we end up developing one side of our game much more than the other. We get really good at like tactics and calculation, but then not exactly sure where to place the pieces. Or the other side of things, you know, you learn a lot about chess strategy and you learn a lot of different openings, but then not able to find that like decisive, you know, combination when your position is kind of demanding it. So many different aspects to chess of chess to work on, and then of course there's the end game, which is a whole nother very difficult part of the game to deal with. But let's
I
just
guess
start.
you can feel it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
No, go ahead.
go ahead. So probably you just can feel what is lacking, and I mean I myself can feel that I felt in the past that maybe my positional play was bad. Maybe maybe most of the time I lose in endgame. So it's good if you can feel what are your weaknesses. If you cannot, probably get a coach or something.
Right. I think, yeah, that it is important to have a sense of, and that's why analyzing your games is so critical, is that you'll see patterns that you're like losing in the same exact ways over and over again. Like you get a good position and then you mess it up in the end game, or you just get checkmated, by move 10 every time you're black. You just notice like these things happen over and over again, and then you know exactly what you need to fix. So I'm just going to start playing through some of your games here. This is the first one. You're playing white. And so yeah, all of your recent games I noticed were 5-5. So you've just been playing a ton of blitz.
Yeah.
But I want to be clear, your real goal though is to get better in like over the board classical chess.
Yes.
Okay, so that's just important to keep in mind. Yeah.
So basically, I thought maybe I can play one game for 2 hours, maybe get a good knowledge of some position, or I don't know. And also maybe I can play like maybe 5 quality. I mean, not so much quality game, but it's not bad. Like 5 + 5, you have time to think. So I figured like maybe in this case it's better maybe to have that quantity or quality, but I'm not sure about that.
Well, it's a classic question. Like, is blitz helpful for your chess? So
I wouldn't call it like really blitz, so because you really have much more time to think in comparison to like 5 minutes, 5+0.
well, no, I would say it's still blitz. Like anything up to 10 minutes. I mean, some coaches would say like anything under 30 minutes is basically blitz. It's just like,
Okay.
well, what time control do you play at the club? Like for the tournaments?
For the tournaments, it's 1.5 hour plus 30 seconds.
Oh, okay. So just one time control.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is actually like on the shorter side of like classical time controls, because a lot of times you'll have tournaments that start with this first time control and then you get another like hour after 40 moves, or another third. So those games can be like really really long, like 4, 5, 6, 7 hours. So my feeling is like when we play online, of course it's really hard to play a long time control game online, like 90 + 30, because it's going to take 3-4 hours and you have to like stay there the whole time and be focused. Personally, I feel like a good in between is something like 15 minutes, 15 + 10 or 15 + 5. Because then it like the game doesn't take forever, but then you really get like you get a very very decent game. I think 5 + 5 is like it's kind of okay, but it's definitely fast. And so the the advantage is that of course you get more games, but the important part is of course to analyze the games and then try to kind of understand the positions that you're playing in a deeper sense, which hopefully we'll get to do here. So I'm totally cool with you playing like this time control, but then I really want you to be diligent about like analyzing your games and trying to like learn at least 1 or 2 ideas from every game you play, like going over them and seeing like where you could have played better, where you could have tried a different idea, where the opponent maybe could have defended better, and yeah, just trying to learn a little bit more about the position.
Yes.
Okay, so you mentioned Jinji, and I know his his friend Eugene Perelstein really well, and I know they're fans of the Grand Prix. So I'm guessing this is your main main weapon against the Sicilian.
Yes, yes.
Nice. Okay. Well, yeah, Grand Prix is can be a dangerous line. So is this something that you play pretty frequently?
Yeah, all the time. I just play only lines from that from those books.
Gotcha. And I mean, it looks like you played it in a really, really straightforward way. I mean, F5 is very thematic. Um, Actually, this game ended very quickly. But this is why the Grand Prix is considered a very dangerous weapon, actually in Blitz specifically, because like it's really not easy for Black to defend this kind of position.
Yeah, especially if you don't know what you're doing.
Right. Right. No, a lot of games they just go like this, like Black makes some normal moves, White goes Bishop H6, Knight G5, and then it's just checkmate.
Yeah.
Check here, Knight E5, and then you popped him with Bishop G7. Nice.
Yeah, saw this in understanding move, studying chess move by move. I saw this I think in a Dragon.
Yeah.
Sicilian Dragon, like this.
No, I remember the game you're talking about. Yeah, I don't remember the players, but yeah, this idea is well known from the Dragon, exactly. Actually, other positions too, but yeah, it's very nice. So the point is that White is mating by force here. I guess you can start with, I think this is probably most accurate, and then Rook takes F7. Nice one. So, do you consider yourself like a attacking player then?
Well, I don't know. I would say I like all aspects of chess. I enjoy tactical. I enjoy. I mean, I probably prefer technical positional, but I don't know. I more and more I want to play also a chaotic chess like Shirov and something like that. I don't want to I don't want to be one type of a player. I want to see all aspects of chess and like go deep in, not just restrict myself.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Okay. Well, yeah, this was a pretty nice game. Let me jump to a different one here. It's taking some time to load. Okay, here we go. How about, let's see. Just kind of choosing games at random here. Okay, next game you're playing Black in this position. Oh, so right, you've got the Jinji repertoire. So that means accelerated dragon.
Yes.
Sweet. Well, there's something nice about having just like a consistent repertoire. Is just exactly the positions you're gonna play. Okay, Knight G4. Kind of a tricky line. Takes Queen D1. Knight C6. Now a lot of players they go back to E6 here. Do you have any thoughts on this one?
I'm not familiar with that line.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Knight C6 is also possible. Actually, E5 here is also a move. Just so you know, there are some options here. So Knight C6, Rook C1, D6, castles, Bishop E6. Okay, so basically we get kind of like a typical Marazzi bind.
Yeah. A3, I think here it's not common.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I was going with standard plans for this position.
Right. Rook FD1. Rook FD1 is a little weird because White just pushed F4. Yeah, what's that?
So here, yeah, after rook a6, rook f d1, I pushed b5, kind of without thinking, because I mean, I saw in many variations that I'm getting a pawn back, but he played a3, so it was that was the move that, and I don't get to take with this rook after he moves the knight, and I open the lines for the rook, for the a rook, and then I'm gonna take on a2, so that way I'm getting the pawn back, but in this position it didn't work.
Oh, I see. Right.
But with the engine, I later saw that actually it wasn't that bad of a move. I could play. It was, I guess, it's not too bad.
Right. So you're saying here, yeah, your hope was to be able to take on a2, which, yeah, if a2 pawn was hanging here, then definitely that would be kind of a nice trade for black. But it doesn't work. Actually, apparently you're end up doing okay. Like here, knight a5, and all of a sudden we have great counterplay here. Yeah, basically it's like perfect bingo. Where like all the pieces are aimed at the queen side, and there's just a ton of pressure. And in the Benko Gambit, a lot of the endgames are actually like good for black, so it's kind of ironic. So here, bishop b3 selected.
It wasn't that easy to find it. I guess the best was bishop a4, not bishop c4.
Yeah. I mean, I don't. That's nice move. I don't really blame you for playing bishop c4. Bishop e6 also makes sense too.
Yeah, bishop e6. No, bishop a4. I think. Probably not bishop.
Bishop a4 is possible, but yeah, bishop kind of feels like it belongs here, and then you open up the b3 square again for your knight.
Yeah.
Threaten this annoying thing. Well, basically repeating the position, which is possible. So we get hit with knight d5. Oh, so white kind of untangles. So now if we take this one, takes on c8, takes, and then maybe e takes d5. Even rook takes d5. I'm not sure, but now we just don't have enough. Yeah, for the two pawns, it seems. Right. Okay, so this one actually gets away from us a little bit here. I do think the opening was a little bit of a problem in this one, because when we develop with like bishop e6 and go for this plan, this f4 can actually be really annoying for black, because they want to just push f5 and get this like kingside attack. I'm not even sure if white really played it in the best possible way. Like rook fd1 to me feels like he's actually pulling the rook in the wrong direction. I think the rook should have stayed on the f-file. So one rule that black often thinks about is that if white has played f3 already, then the bishop is kind of safe on e6, because then it'll take white like an extra tempo to play f4. But if white hasn't played f3 yet, then a lot of times the bishop goes to d7 and c6, so that if they do play f4, then your bishop is hopefully ready to try to use this diagonal and put pressure on the e-pawn, and then you're not getting hit with f5. In this position, though, I'm actually a little bit not sure about it here exactly, because I don't know where we're going to move the knight. So I don't know, maybe at this point we should consider other ideas. Like we can also play moves like a5 in this position, and just trying to like use the a pawn first. So for example, if white plays queen d2, a4, sometimes black tries to do this kind of thing with like queen a5. I don't know, engine seems to hate it, so maybe this is not the right right. Oh yeah, knight d5 is just killing us. So this is definitely not the right the right point for this idea, but maybe something to explore in other positions. I don't know. Definitely an opening to check, because I do feel like black ended up worse in this one. So this is one that I would review with your repertoire.
Yes, I used to lose to this opening all the time, but I'm getting better and better. I always analyze the game, and I always analyze the opening, and so yeah, I'm gonna get better for sure.
Good, good. I mean, like with every opening, there's always a learning curve. Like it starts off, there's always going to be issues and different lines, like and tricks and stuff. But once you get more experience, you learn what to do against virtually everything, and you learn to just play these positions. I do want to note that like this knight g4 line, like nowadays, you don't see a lot of the top players playing this one that play the accelerated dragon. So if you look at people like, Gelfand was playing this one for a while. There's also grandmasters like Raf Mamedov is a big like accelerated dragon player. I would say they're mostly going for these lines with castles and d6, bishop d7, and like playing these positions, kind of like the more classical stuff where the idea is to take on d4 and then put the bishop on c6 and playing like this. Or there are also lines with kind of like somewhat trickier move order where black starts with knight c6 here, with the idea g6, c4 of playing knight f6, knight c3, and then d6. And then there's some different variations here, because in this move order, if white plays bishop e3 too early, then they get hit with knight g4. So this is kind of black's point of playing this early move d6 so that we can get knight g4. So instead white like plays bishop e2 here, then black takes on d4, queen takes d4, bishop g7. And then this is kind of like a different approach. Here bishop e3, castles, queen d2, and then in this position black will often play a5, a4. This is kind of the plan I was thinking about in the other position. And then the idea is to like bring the queen to a5, bishop e6, rook f c8, kind of similar to what you did, except now that you have this a pawn that's advanced, makes it really hard for white to play b3 without creating a weakness here. So okay, this is just a random opening tip. You might be interested in checking out some of these lines. In general, I'm a big fan of just following like one like repertoire, like one consistent approach. But at the same time, I also really like the idea of following the top players, because the guys that are playing the accelerated dragon, they're working on these positions like tons and tons of hours, and so they're kind of doing the work for you. They're analyzing it, they're figuring out like what are the lines that are the most playable, most objectively sound, and if you kind of just follow what they're doing, then it kind of gives you a hint as to like what's considered the most like solid or mainstream approach.
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay, let me jump to another game here. I'm just gonna be kind of pulling games at random just to see what they're like. Okay, in this game we're playing white. And so what are you playing against d4, by the way? So with white we have like e4, and then we have accelerated dragon, and then what are we doing against d4?
Against d4, Nim's Indian.
Oh, Nimzo, cool. And then Bogo Indian as well?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Alright, so here we got, okay, Scotch Gambit.
I think you made a video how to destroy Scotch Gambit, something.
Wait, did I? I don't remember actually.
Maybe it was, I don't know.
No, I think this is a very decent line for white. think, yeah, totally reasonable. Okay, so we end up just getting mated here. Do you remember this game?
Yeah, I think both. I think both were. Both of us were low on time, and I thought he dropped the pawn, but actually he had something in store. I didn't
Yeah.
see that.
Yeah, we end up losing the f4 pawn, which is like much more important. Well, it happens. Actually, I think he played this one. He played this one reasonably well. Let's see here.
Here and then I looked it up. It is better here to play bishop queen e2.
Oh, and at this moment.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And what's the idea here? Let's say black plays queen e8 or something.
I looked at in the book. It says bishop e2. I mean queen e2, bishop g4. It's the main line. Mm-hmm. Then queen f2, queen d5. Queen d5. Not sure if you are putting the moves. I don't see.
No, I was just thinking about it because it's funny. It's like, oh, main line's bishop g4, just this like crazy move, hanging not just one bishop, but actually two bishops, because there's also queen c4 check. Queen c4 walks into queen d5, and then I guess queen takes g4. Black takes on d4 and is okay here because taking on e3 with check, and we take on d4, queen takes back with check, and so black seems to be fine. But I would always advise like really taking it slow when you're looking at opening analysis, because a lot of times it's like, well, you got to understand it kind of like move by move. Like my first thought in this position was to play queen e8 for black, which is actually a total blunder. Queen c4 check, white just wins the bishop. So it's important to try to understand these positions like from almost like a concrete point of view, like what is exactly being threatened every move, and what's the idea, not just against the book move, but also if the opponent makes normal moves. For example, if black plays a move like bishop b6, I would wonder like what is white's idea, or what is white's plan from here. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but like my plan is just to maybe put on the chessable that main line, and if he does not play that line, I'm probably gonna figure out that he deviated, and
Right, but it's I would say it's like kind of better for your understanding if you try to do this as much as you can off the board, because like during the game it's really hard to figure these things out, especially when the clock is ticking. And like in a blitz game, you only have 5 minutes. You don't want to invest a minute calculating, and you'd rather just make a natural move. But then during the analysis, this is where like I think you really can pick up on a lot of these nuances to use for the future. But I do get what you're saying. I'm a big fan of the approach of just playing and then analyzing the games and learning from that. Like that's a very straightforward path to improvement. So I am a big fan of this one.
I had recently like one really nice game that I saw that I didn't play the right move, the main move, and then I spent about a minute and then found the move, and it was a really nice game. It was Elephant Gambit or something.
Oh, cool. Yeah, if you remember the username, we can check it out.
Give me 1 second. I think I played it yesterday. It was R2 power 64. It's third from, I guess, behind. How do you say it? It was played on January 26th. It's only game on January 26th.
Oh, I see. Okay, let's see if I can. Not sure if I have it.
I can send it to you on
yeah,
Discord.
if you can send it to me, that'd be easier. Oh, I got it. Okay. So we were playing white here. Oh, 7 moves. Nice. So, elephant gambit, d5. Uh-huh.
It wasn't 7 moves. What?
Or was it more? Oh, I'm sorry. The notation broke. My bad. Hold on. Let me.
That would be silly if I send you.
Okay, here we go. No, I got the whole game. Huh. Weird. No, it's just having a hard time reading the PGN. Let me try one way.
Let me maybe send you a PGN or any on.
No, you're okay. It's just these websites, they always like do weird things to the PGN to make it hard to read on other sites.
Yeah, okay.
But okay, I just have the moves now. We have the moves. We can just paste them in. Okay, that seemed to work. Okay, so elephant gambit and then d4. Is this something you've studied?
Yeah, actually, I played against one of my club mates, and he plays this line, and I was like, "What is this?" I got really bad positions, and then I studied it. I see on d5, just play d4. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's an interesting line. So here, bishop d6, bishop c4, takes. Oh, and then you hit him with queen h5. So was this in your analysis? This is an idea you studied?
Yes.
Gotcha. Take. So how deep did you know this one?
Bishop h5, and then he should play queen e7. I take queen e5, d5, plays knight c6, knight c3, knight takes e5, bishop b3, knight e7, and then knight takes on e4. And it's bad for him to try to keep his pawn, because I think I have bishop f4 or something.
Right. Yeah, if black tries to hold on to that, then bishop f4 is coming, castle queenside, rook h1, and you just have this huge initiative. Your dark squared bishop is super strong. Okay, cool. So this is the main line. So queen takes d4. This was out of your book?
Yeah, it was out of my book, but I remember that he has to give up the piece back, and then I played queen f7, and I thought here for a minute or something. I don't know, not sure. Then I kind of remember that. Yes, I take the knight after queen f8.
Yeah, what a weird idea.
Yeah, I was calculating that, but then I remember while calculating, yes, I take that knight.
So I guess the point is that you just have bishop e6 no matter what. Because it looks tactically very suspicious to put yourself in this pin. You have like no development. It looks like black is better, right? But actually bishop e6 is coming and it's a big problem. And I wonder just like if g6. So we have this one.
I don't see moves that you're making.
What's that?
I don't see moves that you're making. Should I refresh or?
Oh yeah, I just played g6 for black instead of knight c6.
Let me refresh maybe.
Yeah.
I don't see nothing here, but doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm just playing out what could have happened after g6. So nice. So knight c6. You give this check. Take. Now I'm just going through the game. Not sure if are you following or?
Still no.
That's on. Well, no big deal for now. I'm just playing through the moves.
Okay, it's okay.
Okay, so we got this end game. Okay. And how do you feel about the end game? Do you feel comfortable or?
Yeah, actually, I love endgame. I've been working on endgame a lot recently, and I really enjoyed it. I think I improved a lot.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, in recent time, I feel really comfortable actually. And I'm looking to improve a lot more, of course.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I mean, endgames are something that, like, if you feel confident in the endgames, it really helps almost every aspect of your chess, because it means, like, in a middle game, if something goes wrong, you can trade queens, go into the endgame, and still fight for a win, still outplay your opponent. Or if you have a difficult position, you trade queens, you're worse, but then you still defend while you outplay your opponent. And it gives you a lot of confidence to convert positions when you're comfortable with the end game. So that's important. Yeah, nice game. I mean, okay, it wasn't perfect, but yeah, it's a blitz game, so it's important to definitely important not to judge the concrete stuff too harshly. Like, I don't know if you ever analyze your games like with the engine or like the analysis engine, but it's always just like, oh, you made 5 blunders, 10 mistakes. It's just like, I mean, for blitz, that's part of it. That's gonna happen.
I mean, I watched like when Danny and Robert on chess.com comment on I don't know, some event. It was chess championship, and then Carlsen misses something. I don't know, like, hey, if Carlsen misses that, then I'm okay, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. Like, literally the best players in the world will blunder when they're down under a minute, when they have 3 minutes, 5 minutes. So I think in general, people are really hard on themselves. They're like, oh, I shouldn't be missing this kind of, like, Dude, you're gonna miss tactics. That's just part of like no one's brain works like a machine. Um, I mean, some of these guys are truly amazing. I mean, like how little they blunder with no time. But I think when we're using blitz as kind of like a training tool, yeah, it's important just to be realistic and focus more on just learning ideas from the game. In fact, the most useful thing, like whenever I have some kind of miss, like, okay, actually, I think your opponent here turns out missed a really fantastic. He missed a fantastic defense. Oh, in this position.
Yeah, bishop h7. He has bishop a7, and then I thought in that position I can just go queen h6, but probably then he's gonna be material up or something.
Well,
I
here.
don't see a board.
Oh, sorry, you're not sure where I'm at. I'm on move 17. If you can you click to it on your end? 95
yeah,
check.
I can.
Okay, just so you can follow. Yeah, when you play knight d5 check, he went back king g7. Here he could have snapped this knight on d5 with queen takes d5. And then on queen takes d5, he has bishop takes h2 with perpetual.
So move 16 instead of king.
Yeah, move 17.
Move 17.
Mm-hmm.
So 95. Take the queen. Take with the queen.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "Oh, okay, yeah, I remember that. I know that he had that."
Okay, so he could have forced a draw here, like bishop f4 and repeat and so on. And so after the game, yes. I don't know, maybe he'll check this one. He's like, "Oh, I'm such an idiot. I didn't see this obvious draw." But it's like, yeah, like of course you're gonna miss this thing, but the more important thing is to just try to learn the idea. Just try to remember the pattern, and like I often try to play over the idea that I missed a couple times. Just to see it like, over the board, like played out. I try to even like calculate it. Like imagine I'm on 95 check again and I'm calculating like, oh, I can take on h2, and I try to like see the variations necessary. And then that's how you kind of grow and improve your tactics. Actually, let's talk about tactics real quick. How do you work on your calculation? You mentioned this Chessable course.
Yes.
What's that like? How does that one work?
I mean, many people recommend it as one of the best on tactics, and I guess it's nice for. It's not like deep calculation, but it's decent. Maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 moves deep, and also a lot of common tactical patterns that you should know. So it's really nice. And also I saw that in one of your previous videos on this show that you recommend one of the guys to work on calculation, and I figured, I should maybe work on that. So I want to purchase a Grandmaster Preparation calculation course, and because I heard it's really good for that kind of that skill, that particular skill.
Oh,
so yeah, I plan on working on that.
Oh wow! Honestly, I think that would that one would be pretty challenging. And I would suggest something simpler before you try to take that on. The other Agard book, Positional Play, I think you said you're working through this one. This one is a little bit easier, so I feel like you could probably handle it. Or I mean, you've been going through it, so you would know. But the calculation book, that one is tough, and I feel like there could be a lot of stuff you work on before you try to tackle that one. But we can certainly discuss it.
Okay.
6F7. By the way, did it switch the game for you? I'm on a new game now against Chess Maestro.
Maybe you can send me another link because I tried the previous link and it doesn't work.
Yeah, no worries. Let's try this one.
Okay, 1 second. Okay, this does work.
Oh no.
Bishop c2.
Are you on? Wait. Bishop c2?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Oh, so yeah, this is the game I'm looking at. So a6 and then knight takes f7. Do you remember this one?
Yeah, I remember. I should have played queen e7 here before. Not play. I played a6, I think.
Yeah, it was a
played
little.
a6. Yeah, I was thinking all the time, like, yes, he's gonna sacrifice on f7.
Right.
I wasn't sure.
And then it finally. Oh, after bishop c2 opens up the rook on the bishop, and that's what finally makes this threat of knight takes f7.
Yeah, I thought this was like, I don't know, you cannot go wrong here, but I didn't find a really plan for me here. I thought just keep your position. I don't know, just don't make any weaknesses or something. Just wait to see what's gonna happen. Just a waiting game. I thought that's the way you should handle this particular position.
Yeah, I mean the position is solid, but I mean you have to kind of recognize like white does have somewhat better rooks here on the open files, and these offer a lot of pressure. So yeah, you have to be very careful of these kinds of accidents. So
Now I'm thinking maybe I don't know. Maybe I should play. I should be playing for minority attack or something.
oh, with a6.
Yeah, a6, b5, b4, something.
Yeah, all else considered, I think a really reasonable plan. But it looks like the rook on a8 needed to be more involved.
Yeah, this is structure like I remember now. Like in chess structure, this is 3 and 4 something. Structure 2 and 3.
Mm-hmm.
So you go. White is playing for minority and black is playing for, or vice versa.
Oh, actually, here
there is nothing much.
You played rook a8 yourself. Oh.
Yeah, I didn't know what to do, so I was like, let's make, I guess, some kind of a waiting move. I don't know. I didn't see. I didn't want to play some stupid move, so I wanted to let me just.
I gotcha. Wow.
Because a lot of time when you don't know what to do, you play a stupid move and then you lose.
No, I understand. Yeah, like if you whenever you try to do something, you end up kind of possibly hanging. Like it's very easy to lose, I think, with a knight move because this might run into like some bishop h7 or some tactics like this. Not sure if it works for white here exactly, but yeah, it's easy to just kind of like blunder into that. But I don't know. I mean, with rook a8, you are kind of actively hurting your own position, so it definitely feels like an issue. I would think about a6, but I'm actually not sure you can get away with it because if white takes rook a8, white goes back queen c4, and then take. A lot of stuff in black's position is hanging. This doesn't seem to work. Why not bishop d5 and queen b7? That I think is a pretty reasonable plan, like bishop d5. And then trying to play queen b7. We always have to watch out for like knight takes f7 tactics or maybe c4, but don't think c4 is really a move white really wants to play here, so this is definitely possible as well. These aren't the easiest positions for black, that's for sure, although they look very comfortable. G6 actually might be the move, thinking about it now, because what this does is like it basically just blunts white's bishop and makes a lot of these tactics much more difficult for white. I guess it also sets up some ideas of like knight h5, which might be possible as a way of going after white's bishops, because you hit the bishop, and then if the bishop moves, you have knight f4. So that might be kind of an idea. And then in the distant future, it actually might be useful to like relocate the bishop to g7. But okay, of course, with the bishop on g3, you'd have to be careful about that. Yeah,
I was thinking to play actually queen c5, but I'm not sure what I saw that I didn't like.
Well, that might allow
probably again
the sack. Yeah.
f7, yeah. Again.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, not the easiest position for black. Honestly, looking at it now. But okay, I want to just keep looking at games.
Yeah, sure.
Let's see here. How about okay, this one. Oh, this was the same opponent. This was again Chess Maestro.
I got my revenge, I think, in this one or something.
I'm not sure. We'll see. Oh, that's interesting. So black had a trick here. He could have played queen a5 in this position, because on bishop a6, you're not able to play d3.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's very annoying. I guess maybe here might be more accurate to start with b3, but then it's I don't know. Maybe knight should be going back to b1 here, even though normally I know you are used to playing knight a4 in these kinds of positions. But the knight on b1 also has kind of a point, because then you're just playing for this amazing c4 square.
Yeah.
Okay, just a thought. I'm not sure. Anyway, it ends up working out. Now our position is just like perfect, because we have this dream structure. Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah. I thought he's just desperate. He's just moving the knight.
He was desperate.
Without, I don't know. Yeah, he was.
Well, it happens. Anyway, it was a really good position for you.
Yeah, it was.
It seems like you feel quite comfortable in this kind of position.
Yes, especially if I get like b3 and bishop a3 maybe.
I gotcha. Yeah, it's nice to have this like positional grip. Okay, let's take a look some more games here. Oh, we have a d4 game. Okay, interesting. Yeah, you have to be careful in this opening because on every move, white can just like shut you down with d5, and then you end up with this kind of bad bishop on b7. Your opponent doesn't really take advantage, and you're able to take on d4 and then push d5, and then just get a perfectly fantastic structure here. But this is something to actually keep in mind because, I think even here white should have played d5. But especially once you put your bishop on b7, this bishop really suffers. And then you're eventually just going to have to play bishop a6, but then we're playing this Benoni that's not exactly everyone's favorite structure. So I think the way to get around this is to take on d4 earlier. If you want to do something like this, that's totally reasonable. And then you can play for the isolated queen pawn. Or you can also just play b6 here. And play this position. Because white doesn't get e4. So this is kind of more, I would say, in the style of like Benko, or not Benko, but Nimzo, Bogo Indian, Queen's Indian. This is like in the same family. So hopefully you feel comfortable here. But yeah, you have to be a little bit careful about allowing white to take the space, because this could be really unpleasant for black. We go d5. Now position feels comfortable. If you had to choose, would you rather play against the IQP or with the IQP?
Yeah, I was really scared of if I play with IQP, but since reading chess structures, I saw that it's really not that bad. It's actually really nice. Like there's a lot of ideas. Push that d4. You're basically just trying to preserve the light square bishop and push d5.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, activate much activity. It's fun. It's fun. I actually play. I don't play with that pawn, isolated pawn, but if I get that position, I'm not gonna be sad.
Oh, okay, interesting. Yeah, I mean, I think that's good. Like, ideally, you're comfortable to play either side, whether you have it or you're against it. You understand the ideas you're playing for. But a lot of players, they do have a very clear preference. Like, I used to prefer playing with the pawn because I really like the attacking ideas. But now lately, I would prefer to have the other side, because when you have the pawn, it's like it's a big responsibility. But that's just personal bias. I was just curious, actually. I don't think there is a right answer. I think everyone has their preference. But it's important to be willing to play these positions from either side. And I mean, I feel like it turned out pretty well here. Knight a5. Take on c3. Yeah, that looks good. Yeah, to me, you are definitely feeling like a very just like pure positional player. Like you're trying to follow like one straightforward plan, and it's usually based on like the structure, just piling up on a weakness or attacking like a key square, just kind of following a consistent and logical plan.
Yeah, I feel like that's more of a chess than just fireworks. Like I feel like just
that's more what? What'd you say?
that that more characterized chess than tactics and that, like positional chess. I don't know.
I mean, that's totally legitimate.
Yeah.
I mean, no, there are a lot of players that have this kind of like exact approach. Like chess is more of a strategic game, and yeah, I mean it's just all about the strategy. Okay, you were winning this one, but yeah, I mean again, blitz is blitz, so things happen. I'm not going to talk too much about how to improve like your blitz technique. You just need to play a lot of blitz, and you'll get better at converting these end games with like, 5 seconds on your clock. But as far as your play goes here, I feel like your play was really solid in this middle game. Like really, really clean. I mean, your opponent, of course, did not play well. Like this idea to give up the dark squared bishop and push d5 is clearly flawed. But you found exactly the right way to refute it, which I think is quite nice. And then this position was already just fantastic for you. So this is definitely a nice game. Yeah. Okay. One thing actually I don't really see in these games, but is very important is time management. Would you say in these games are you generally up on time towards the end, or down on time, or like is it about even?
I'm not sure. Depends on the game. Like sometimes I'm up on the time when I know the position. Sometimes I'm down when I really want to know the truth of the position. I don't care of the result. I spend more time to find a good move.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay, I was just wondering. Yeah, because I don't have the timestamps here, but that's just something to keep in mind. Of course, in Blitz, time is really important. So if you do spend a lot of time out of the opening because like you're trying to find the right approach and like the right idea, then that might be good for your overall chess, but might be bad for your Blitz results. Because then you end up counting time. Wait,
yeah,
what?
I guess I don't care a lot about rating. It's more about improvement, I guess.
No, that's absolutely fine. Yeah, I just want to be clear on that. So is this a line you play frequently? This well, I guess it's up to White if they want to go for this, but is this a line you feel comfortable with? I guess I wanted to say.
I actually saw a computer did this, and I thought, what's the point? And I saw like this queen is gonna be exposed to. I'm gonna get a tempo with bishop b7, and I have rook on b file, and I have pressure with black or dark square bishop. So, but actually, the book says that to get my knight back, I think. But I'm not sure if I'm gonna continue.
Oh, to play knight g8 here.
Knight g8, but I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I like playing. I like sacrificing pawn here. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think this pawn sacrifice is really interesting. So it's definitely it's just not easy for White to handle this one. So yeah, that's really important to just keep in mind what positions you want to play. Like that's going to be a very real feeling to listen to. Like what positions kind of feel natural, like you understand the ideas and where your pieces belong, because those are usually the ones that are gonna work for you. I guess it was even better to just play bishop b7 immediately, just chasing after White's queen d2, and maybe take on e5. Maybe you just castle here and keep your initiative going. Curious.
But it's interesting to play against a queen and two bishops against two bishops. It's really interesting. a lot of abilities.
Yeah, no, very open position. So yeah, it's an interesting one to play. Let's see what happened here. So take. So again, yeah, you have this. Oh, nice. Rook takes b4. Yeah, it definitely feels like you have this approach where you're just trying to like improve your position one move at a time. I call this kind of like playing like a Capablanca style because he was really the master of this. He would just get a small advantage and just slowly like nurse it and grind it out. But then it's very important, of course, to look for look for tactics at every step of the way. Very, very critical. So I'm glad you didn't miss that one.
The book from Agard has helped a lot because he has three things that he's teaching. First one is weaknesses. So yeah, my weaknesses radar is much better, I guess, from that book. So.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. I want to try to find a couple more games maybe where you lost, so I can just see what do losses look like. Maybe this one actually. Okay, G3, kind of a weird move.
Yeah, absolutely. But I played the same idea again. So.
Oh, taking on C3?
No, with knight G4.
Oh, with knight G4, I gotcha, yeah. Because in the other game, you also took on C3. Yeah, this one I think worked out. And so this is exactly right. Like, see, a tactical player, they have a really hard time giving up this bishop. But I feel like you just want to get the structure and just pile up on the C file.
Yeah, it doesn't have dark square bishop, so...
No, I'm with you. You're absolutely right.
I think.
But it's it's just different styles. Like, tactical players, they don't want to give up the bishop no matter what. But
yeah.
But people who are more kind of like strategic, like more technical oriented, they well, you understand, of course, what you're playing for. Oh, I actually thought you lost this game, but no, you just won easily. Nice. You know, actually, I feel like I am getting kind of a sense of your chess now. But before I go any further, what do you feel like is your weakness?
I'm not sure. I don't know. It seems like I don't have any weaknesses, but I cannot think of. Of course, I do have, but trying to. In what positions do I lose most? I don't know. What? Probably I can. My calculation should probably. It could be better. I think probably that's my biggest weakness, and I'm gonna work on it. And the rest, I'm not sure.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, I'm kind of thinking about this. I mean, obviously we just met today, and these are the only games of yours that I've seen. So I'm definitely just very much just giving you kind of like my first impression, right? But to me, it feels like you're very comfortable, just based on your blitz games here, really comfortable playing against like your opponent's weaknesses, and like I've been saying, like following this kind of straightforward strategic plan. And although I haven't seen a ton of like tactical mistakes in your games, you had a few misses, like you missed like the mate in one, and then there was like the knight takes f7 shot, that even though you were anticipating this one, you still kind of like blundered into it when white played like bishop c2 in that game.
Yeah.
I mean, generally the idea is like, if you didn't have weaknesses, of course, then you would just be like master IM GM level player. But the fact that you're not there, of course, means that something is holding you back. And if it's not your strategic side, then it's probably the calculation. That's kind of my like process of elimination. So that said, it's again, Blitz is a different game, and in Blitz we have less time to think, and we rely on our instincts. So just because your instincts are more like strategic doesn't mean necessarily you're bad at tactics. It just means your instincts are to focus on the positional side.
Yeah, makes sense.
I would say if you want to like really improve your like blitz rating, focus on like quick tactics, like Puzzle Rush or like Puzzle Storm on Lee Chess, like this kind of thing. Tactical themes. basically 2-3 move tactics, quick combinations like these patterns, these forks, that come up all the time. And if you get really, really quick at seeing these, then like your blitz rating, I think will definitely improve. But when it comes to like your classical chess, of course, you have to think about working on your deeper calculation as well, because that's really the most important thing. So your quick tactics are still going to be a part of that, because quick tactics are always going to be in the game. But then you also want to develop your kind of deeper calculation and your visualization and the ability to analyze variations and find little details and nuances. So yeah, my feeling is that this is where you can really stand to improve and work a lot, as can many players. But especially because it feels like you have already developed this other side of the game, and you've gotten this kind of like positional sense. Like I feel like your positional understanding is really decent. I mean, it probably comes from the books you've been reading. It probably comes from like the classes you mentioned with like the group classes with the Grandmaster Jucic. Like I think that's given you some kind of like strategic sense. And now it's time to work on like the deeper calculation side. Yeah, so there's a couple books that like I'm a fan of. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I've been wondering if I work on deep calculation, is that gonna help me calculate faster, maybe in a blitz, or what is going to help me calculate faster?
Yeah, eventually, yes. I mean, both things I think help you kind of calculate faster. I'd say maybe there's maybe three main things. So number one, playing a lot of blitz, you'll get used to kind of thinking quicker. But number two, doing like quick tactics, that'll help you for sure. And then, so this is kind of the third one, working on like your deeper chess. It's gonna take the longest amount of time before you actually feel the benefits. But I think that's because it just takes time for your brain to grow. Like basically what you're trying to do is like stretch your brain. Like you have a certain limit right now that you can calculate or visualize. Like 5 moves and 3 different variations or whatever it might be. But as you work on these problems, an hour a day for like 4 weeks, 6 weeks, at the end of that 4 to 6 weeks, you were working like an hour in every day, like really straining your brain. I think your ability to calculate and visualize will definitely strengthen. So you'll be able to see deeper and you'll be able to kind of see more clearly. And then over time, you'll also start to see things faster. So you can work on like speed alone with doing things like Puzzle Rush and just like quick tactics and playing bullet. But if you want to like kind of improve your depth and your like accuracy, and then speed will kind of come with that. So I think that's why a lot of coaches generally like recommend to work on like, once at lower levels, like you just got to work on simple tactics. But I think you're kind of past that point. So now you want to work on the more challenging stuff. So yeah, in terms of recommendations, there are lots of good books out there. Actually, one on Chessable that I think is pretty good is the books by Romain Edouard. He has these like chess calculation training books. I think those are pretty decent. I'm a fan of these Russian books. Yeah, go ahead.
Let me on just a second. Said Remy?
Yeah, Romain Edouard.
Romain Edouard. Okay, I'm probably gonna find it later. Okay, then.
Yeah, you can always ask me. I'll send you links to everything we discuss later on. Someone's saying Hyperbullet really helped me with fast calculation. No, don't play Bullet. No, if you're gonna play Bullet, it's a separate game. It's like it's not part of your chess training. It's just a separate thing.
It's for fun, yeah.
Exactly, it's for fun. It is fun, but yeah, it's not like Yeah, because at Blitz, at least you have time to like think and like at least access your memory for a couple seconds before you have to move. Bullet is just like you just have to move instantly. Um.
Yeah,
Okay.
Hikaru wouldn't agree.
What's that?
Hikaru wouldn't agree probably, but
No, I think he would. I mean, he of course famously played
I'm
a ton of Blitz,
kidding
but
because yeah,
yeah, Blitz matches sometimes end in 3 seconds, but you have to like it's all about finding the balance because it'd be great if you could just play like a classical game every day, but no one has that kind of time. And so playing Blitz and Rapid, I think the good medium is again like around 15 minutes. Actually, another recommendation I would make for you is to try to find a training partner that you can play games that are slightly longer with, like maybe 15 minutes per side. And you can work on specific openings, like if you're having issue with Accelerated Dragon, for example, or Nimzo or some line, you can agree like you're going to play this position and then you guys both study it and then you show up ready to play and then it's like a high quality game and then you analyze the game and you learn 3 times. You learn before the game while you're prepping, you learn during the game while you're kind of thinking about the position and what to do, and then you learn after the game when you kind of analyze what you did and how you could have improved. So that would be something I would really recommend doing, especially if you want to get like a deeper understanding of any of your openings.
that's really good advice, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I just found another game here. I'm just quickly playing through. But oh, and yeah, I'm also a big fan of these Russian books. The manual of chess combinations. It's like a series. I think it's called like Chess School or something. Um, but there's a bunch of great problems in those books. Um, so if you're looking for any specific like exercise books, I'm a fan of those. And then once you get through that, or once you get through like the Edward course on Chessable, then I think maybe it's time to take on Agard. But Agard is really tough, so you've been warned.
No.
That's
Okay.
right,
I
manual
mean,
or
it doesn't
Chessable.
matter if you
Mm-hmm.
manual, that's Russian.
Yeah, I mean
That's Latska.
it's like a Russian author, but it's just a book of puzzles, so it's just diagrams and solutions. So you don't actually have to read Russian to go through the book.
Yeah, of course. Okay. I mean, I would check those two out, manual and from Edward.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Okay, Dino. Well, I think we're going to be wrapping it up here, but it was good meeting you and really interesting looking through your games. I wish you all the best. Do you have any final questions before we finish up?
Actually, I don't know. I'm really satisfied with this interview or whatever it's show.
Kind of a
I
mix. Yeah.
I'm really great. Yeah, mix. I'm grateful for your analysis and it's gonna. I think it's gonna help me improve because you pointed out some nice stuff about that game. I don't know. I don't have any question. Thank you a lot for this opportunity. I would say, and I hope to maybe I don't know, maybe we can work on YouTube. I'm not sure about that. Maybe collab or something.
Oh, cool. Yeah, if you have a channel, absolutely. Well,
Yeah, I have my, I'm not sure if you saw my channel. It's just mastery.
oh, I didn't realize you were active. But what do you do on your channel?
Yeah, I started it when I started uh, studying logical chess. Those are first videos on my channel, and I don't know. People watch them. And then I don't know, analyze some other books. recently I'm trying to do some other kind of videos. Before that, I had self-help channel and it was getting popular, but it was just too much work. I started with animation and stuff, so I figured, oh, let's switch on chess, and it's gonna take much less time. I just record the board and I don't know, analyze something.
Oh, cool. Well, do you have like a URL so people can check you out?
Yeah, you can. I think you just type chess mastery, and there's another also semi-famous channel, but I think mine is getting higher ranked higher on YouTube. I think so.
Nice.
You're gonna find it.
Okay, cool. So yeah, your
Yeah.
chess mastery on YouTube. Actually, I'll if folks are watching this later on my YouTube channel, I'll just have a link in the description later. You can find that one. But yeah, well, the idea of this show is to eventually maybe check in. So hopefully you're still really dedicated a couple months down the line, and we'll maybe have another show, have you back, see how you're doing, and hopefully you're hopefully chess is back by then, and we have some tournaments to actually play.
Yeah. That would be awesome. Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, hey, thanks everyone who tuned in. This is a show that happens every Thursday from 3:30 to 5 p.m. Pacific time, and you can catch past episodes on my YouTube channel, which is on YouTube, obviously. All right, guys. Have a good one.